Well, John, what do you think of the cab of that new Volvo motor grader?
Gary, this is nice. It's a little bit different than what most folks are used to,
Yeah.
but it is really nice.
Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about it. This is the joystick machine. This is our joystick option. Now, we have the cab available two different ways. You can get it with the conventional controls, where you have the 8 control levers
Right.
up in front of the cab, like you're used to seeing,
Right.
with the steering wheel. Or you could specify the joystick option, which gives you joystick controls, very similar to one of our main competitors, but it also incorporates a steering wheel.
Yeah, I noticed that. Why do you put a steering wheel in it if it's got joysticks for steering?
Okay, well, the idea there is most people, when they grow up learning how to drive and what have you, they're used to a steering wheel, right? All right? And a lot of times the motor grader spends a good bit of its time, especially if it's a county, township, state machine, it spends a lot of its time out on the highway
Gotcha.
at a high rate of speed. And most operators will tell you that they are uncomfortable steering the machine at high speed using just the joystick. They like to grab that steering wheel. And with a Volvo design, your steering wheel always takes priority over the joystick. Okay?
Okay.
And furthermore, we've got another safety feature that's been built into it. You can only get up to a certain speed, transmission ratio, before you'll have to transition back to the steering wheel and actually deactivate the joystick. So for the owner of the machine, for a county or state, that gives them extra safety, knowing that their operators are not running up the road at high speed using the joystick steering.
So it gives them more safety and the operator more confidence.
Absolutely.
Because I can imagine he's running down the road, something happens, and when he hits the brakes, he's going to do that.
Exactly.
I got it.
And not only that, the machine incorporates a safety switch where you can turn off all the hydraulics. Once you have the blade positioned for roading, you can turn off those hydraulics, and the only thing that will work then is the steering wheel and the transmission control.
Gotcha.
Okay?
This is nice. So I noticed one thing about it when I was on it though, Gary. I can't twist these handles.
Okay. In interviewing competitive or operators from competitive machines, what they told us was that they didn't like the twisting of the other brand's joysticks. So instead of twisting to turn the circle or to articulate the machine, now that those functions are incorporated into these little wheels.
These switches onto the bottom
Exactly.
and on top.
So you work those with your thumb or your forefinger, and not by twisting your wrist.
So Gary, if we sell a machine and it's got joysticks, how much training is required and what can we offer to the customer to get their people accustomed to running this machine?
If he comes out a competitive unit that's got joystick controls, this is arranged to where he'll get onto it almost immediately. Maybe an hour's worth of time to see a little bit of difference in how the transmission shifts, and also our articulation and circle turn. But those are the only two things that are really going to be different from a competitive unit. Now, if he comes into this machine from a conventional unit, it'll probably take a half a day to get used to the controls, but the thing of it is, it's totally intuitive. So when you move something to the left, or you move your joystick to the left, something on the blade is going to go to the left. Okay?
Okay.
It makes sense. Now, conventional control machines with the 10 levers moving forward and back to make things go left and right, when you get right on down to it, it doesn't make sense.
So that's why when I was running the circle a while ago, when I would push the roll switch away from me, the circle would turn out.
Yep.
When I would roll it back to me, it would pull back to me.
Exactly.
That is easy.
So it makes sense. Okay, operators get onto this very quickly.